Hey everybody, Brett from AstartesGaming here, back with something a little bit different. So, I don't have a ton of time to watch other YouTubers, but I do occasionally, and one YouTuber that I really enjoy is Rycon Roleplays. And lately he's been doing a RimWorld series based on a Star Wars mod where he's making a Jedi temple. And it was really cool, and I enjoy RimWorld myself. It's one of the few games I play in my free time, outside of like Mount & Blade Warband and a few others. So I enjoy RimWorld. I'm not that great at it, but I do enjoy it. But anyways, he's doing that Star Wars playthrough, and it made me want to go back to RimWorld and play a little bit on my own. And I always feel guilty when I'm playing something on my own time because I don't have a lot of time. So if I'm not doing it for the channel, I feel like I'm not being very efficient. So I want to do something sort of inspired by that because he's a great YouTuber. I really enjoy his content. But I don't want to just like straight rip him off because that would be lame. So I'm going to do a Star Wars inspired RimWorld playthrough too, but I want to make mine as different from his as possible. So what we're going to be doing in this series, if you guys enjoy it and I decide to continue, is rather than making like a Jedi temple or anything like that, I want to set up like a First Order or Imperial, I guess it really doesn't matter. Probably First Order based on the characters I've chosen. Basically a research facility. I want to be the bad guys. And I'm also going to be doing it on a pretty difficult planet that's going to be sort of a struggle for us to survive. But I've got sort of a custom scenario made to facilitate that a little bit. I want us to not just survive, but thrive in this setting. But I do want this survival to be a little bit of a challenge as well. So the plan is, or the sort of backstory that I've concocted here is that Supreme Leader Snoke has sent one of his Force-sensitive apprentices, one not so important as Kylo Ren, but, you know, somebody else that we never hear about because he's not a Sith, so he can have as many apprentices as he wants. And he sent a sort of like a research team to set up a new research facility for... There's a lot of stuff in RimWorld that we can sort of use to justify this, but I thought maybe like cybernetics and stuff would be cool because there is already a pretty extensive like what's it called? I'm blanking on the word. Prosthetics. There's already a pretty extensive like body part replacement mechanic with prosthetics in the game. And there's a mod that actually expands upon that, and I have that mod installed as well as all the Star Wars stuff and a few others that I'll show you in a second. But I think it would be cool to set up like an Imperial cybernetics research facility. Now the thing is, the research ship got shot down over a pretty inhospitable planet, and we've only got 3 survivors. So I'm going to jump into our scenario and show you guys our 3 survivors and explain a little bit more, and then we'll get started. But before I do that, I'm just going to give you a quick peek at my mod list here, because I know I'll inevitably get asked about it. So these are the mods I'm running. I'm not going to go through them all, but I will give you a second to pause and take a look at them. So here's these, and that is the rest. So you can see I'm running quite a few mods. A lot of them are convenient stuff, and then of course I've got all of the Star Wars stuff happening, and a few things that just expand on parts of the game that aren't really as fleshed out as others. So, as I said, I've already got everything all set up, so I'm going to jump right into that scenario and we'll go from there. Okay, so here we are. This is our planet. You can see right now that it's permanent winter, and outdoors it's minus 17 degrees Celsius. We are on an ice sheet, so this is probably the second most difficult terrain that you can start on in RimWorld. The hardest being, I think, like the sea ice, because there's nothing for you to dig into. You're, you know, just out on a frozen ocean with nothing. So this will be a pretty challenging start, but I have done a few things to make it a little bit easier for us. First of all, I've customized our 3 characters, and they're all pretty decent starting characters. I've also given myself slightly different starting materials than you would normally get. A little bit more food. What else did I give us? I think I have slightly better resources than you would normally start with. Especially food. I don't think the others change too much. And there's no animal. I didn't even bother with one. Because from everything I've read, if you're starting on an ice sheet like this, you pretty much want to butcher the animal you start with for food anyways. So in this case, I just sort of, you know, skip that. I give myself like 20 extra survival meals and no animal. And then what else did I do? We have some extra components, I believe. We've also got a few extra blasters and some like stormtrooper uniforms. I figured, you know, this ship crash landed. There's going to be some stuff that we can salvage off of the people that didn't survive, as well as the ship itself. So from like a role-playing perspective, it sort of makes sense. So let's go ahead and take a look at our characters that we're starting with. Let's go to... where? Oh, you guys haven't landed yet. Right. Let's let you get out. Okay, there we go. Now I can click on them. So, Heth. Well, let me give you his whole name. So, Rustin Heth is our Force Sensitive. He's male, 32 years old. He was an orphan and is now like a Force Sensitive assassin type character. His traits are Sith Inquisitor, Iron-Willed, and Super Immune. So this guy is pretty damn durable. It's hard to get him to, you know, lose his mind or whatever. He doesn't really get sick or anything like that. And he's pretty good at melee combat. He's also good at, you know, sort of using the Force to mind trick people and stuff. Decent at mining, because of course he can use the Force to lift rocks and whatnot. And he likes sort of discovering lost knowledge, as a lot of dark side users do. One thing to note is if you've ever played with the Star Wars mod for this game that adds in Force powers, you can see there's a Force tab here. You basically have to awaken your Force abilities and then you level up with them by gaining XP. And the easiest way to do that is to give your character something like intellectual or mining, or really anything that you can just kind of give them a job to do and have them do repeatedly for a really long time. So research is a great one for that. But if they're very passionate in it, they will gain Force XP really fast. Similarly to how they level up in that skill faster when they're really passionate in it, the same is true for their Force XP. So if you have somebody that's really good at researching, that's really passionate about it, you can set them to research and they're going to level up really fast in their Force powers. Whereas if you have them kind of running all over the place and doing different things, they won't level up as quickly. So anyways, that's Rustin Heth, our Force Sensitive. Now, May is sort of the star of this operation because she is the main researcher that was, you know, supposed to be setting up this facility. Heth is just kind of there to oversee it because obviously, you know, Snoke likes to have his Force sensitive people kind of in there running things. And so she was a sort of child prodigy, like a, you know, a real genius as a kid. And now she's our primary researcher. She's pretty, but too smart, so a little bit kind of rough around the edges around people. And she's a very fast learner, as you might expect from somebody who has that background. She's very good and passionate about medicine. She's going to need to be in order to do all the cybernetics surgeries that we're going to be looking at. She's also pretty good with plants. She does have a little bit of a background in, you know, biology and stuff, so she's familiar with working with, you know, animals and plants. Isn't super ecstatic about animals in particular, but she can kind of handle both. And then she's also great at research as well, and okay at crafting. Now, I'm not sure who I'm going to have doing most of my research, because obviously I want Heth to be leveling up his Force powers pretty quickly, but she's better at it and equally as enthused, so it's kind of a toss-up as to who I should be doing it with, but we'll see. And then finally we have Kenta. Kenta is one of our stormtroopers. He's actually part of the Stormtrooper Corps of Engineers or whatever. So, you know how you have like an Army Corps of Engineers? He's the Stormtrooper equivalent of that. If they're on a planet fighting a battle and they need like bridges built for whatever reason, I don't know, you have like hover tanks and stuff in Star Wars, so it's probably not as necessary, but anyways, he's like a Stormtrooper military engineer type person. And so, he's obviously good at shooting, okay in melee, but doesn't particularly enjoy it. He's probably the friendliest of the bunch, because the Stormtroopers are about as close to normal people as you'll find in the First Order, whereas May's kind of like a weird science savant, and Heth is, you know, basically a Sith a Sith. Why can I not say that? A Sith assassin. There we go. If the Sith still existed. Kenta is kind of just like a normal soldier guy. He's not particularly evil. He's just part of this faction, and so he's going about his job. So probably the most well-rounded character, but you can see that he's pretty good at shooting, interacting with people, cooking. He's kind of got like a little hobby in terms of cooking, but he's very good at construction, very passionate about it. He is an engineer after all. And the same is true of mining. He's just as good at tearing rock down as he is at building it back up, or at least close. A little bit artistic, but he's also good at crafting. Engineers not just good at building big stuff, but little stuff as well. But not too into the research part of it. He just likes to get his hands dirty. But he grew up as an RimWorld army brat, so basically he came from one of those really heavily urbanized planets where everything's really dirty and everybody's living on these giant habitation structures, kind of really packed together like sardines in a can, and eventually escaped by joining the First Order military and became a combat engineer. And so he's iron-willed and industrious, so he's a bit hard to shake as well, and he likes working hard. So those are our three characters. And as I said, we're in a really difficult starting situation here. Although for the situation we're in, this is actually a pretty good map for us to deal with it. So as I mentioned, permanent winter, minus 17 degrees Celsius outside. And keep in mind that is the warmest we're ever going to see. It's only going to get colder from here. So we immediately need to get inside. But the nice thing about this map is we start next to two geothermal vents. So if we wanted to, we could sort of enclose ourselves around those and use them for heat. We've also got this nice little kind of cutout not too far away that we could use. And we've got a ton of compacted iron exposed all around us. So I think we're actually in a pretty good situation, all things considered. So the first thing I think I want to do is I want you guys to grab your weapons. You can see we've got some extra stormtrooper helmets. We should have some extra stormtrooper armor, a couple extra officer uniforms, clothes and hats, and then these are like the undersuits for all those. We've also got, you have a lightsaber kicking around somewhere. I don't know where it is, but I'm sure we'll find it. But we'll need to track down his lightsaber as well as the crystal. Looks like the crystal's right there. And we're going to give Kenta a blaster. Let's give him this one, the Pt.1 blaster rifle. May, I'm going to give you the pistol since you're not particularly great at shooting. And then Heth, I need to figure out where the hell your lightsaber landed. I think that's it. Yeah. Alright, so everybody go do that. And I'm really going to be microing these guys until we actually get started here. And then with the lightsabers, you have to select a crystal. They don't actually need to go pick it up. You just need to select it. Or they do go pick it up when you select it, but you don't need to actually manually send them over there. You just click it and they go do it. So he's going to have a red lightsaber that looks like Mace Windu's lightsaber. Go do that. Meanwhile, let's see. Kenta, I need to have you start building some stuff for me. So we're going to do steel walls here. Everything I've read suggests that... Oh, you know what we need to do? We need to put down a stockpile zone. I'm just going to throw it right here for now, because that will encompass most of our stuff. But we'll need to bring some steel into the area. So I'll select all these. In fact, I probably should have just had it encompass this as well. But everything I've read says that wooden walls in extreme cold situations like this are not... should have just done it like that. Are not great, so we are going to be making steel walls, or basically steel everything, if we can help it. We do have a lot of steel, and I don't think we'll have a hard time getting more on this map. But yes, we are going to want to make steel walls. So let's have you guys hustle a bit. Bring those in there, perfect. I'm going to pause, because every second matters when we're slowly freezing to death. And I want steel walls along here. We may even double these up, but for now that's fine, and we're going to have some steel doors there. I'll also put in a steel door there. We may need to drop a campfire in here to heat this area. So we could go straight for the electrical stuff. We already have the research done. Let's see. We're gonna need beds as well. Terraforming. We can smooth stuff out. Yeah, let's just throw a campfire down. You know what? I have heaters. Yeah, throw... Oh wait, I need electricity for that. Duh. Yeah, put a campfire in here. But let's get to that. And in fact, I should probably queue up some beds as well while they're working on it. I think wooden beds will be okay. So we'll do wooden beds. And see how that works. Kenta, I need you moving a little bit faster. They're moving pretty slow because of A, the cold, and B, the fact that they're walking through deep snow. Oh, come on, man. You're going to fail construction with a... Like, what is your thing again? 14? Alright, Het's got that fire down. That door will be important because we might get to dangerous temperatures in here if there's nothing separating this room from that one. So we'll keep an eye on it. This is unroofed. It should get roofed over pretty quickly. And he just puked. He's probably dealing with alcohol tolerance. Okay. Right. Well, May, what are you currently up to? You're hauling steel. That's fine. Are you cold, by the way? Just a little bit. Not really bad, actually. I think part of it is the thing that they're wearing underneath. What is this? The Imperial bodysuits. I think they keep them fairly warm. Although it's not going to cut it when things really start getting cold. Let's see here. We'll set owners. So Kenta, that's going to be you. You guys keep transferring stuff in the meantime. We're going to need to dig out a sort of enclosed like resource containment area so that this stuff doesn't deteriorate, or at least the perishable stuff doesn't. Is anybody going to build these beds? What are you guys doing? Wandering? You're all wandering, huh? You know what? I probably should have taken care of this first. So let's get these all taken care of. Put you on doctoring 1, bed rest. I'll probably put it 2. Flicking should be at 1 for everybody. Wardening. I'm going to leave most of that to Heth, but Kenta might be able to do a little bit of it. Handling. Animals aren't really going to be a thing in this one. We might see some herds, but for the most part, I don't think we're going to be dealing with too many animals. Negotiating, I'll leave that to Heth as well. Cooking is going to be Kenta for now. We'll try to get a dedicated cook so that he can focus on building. Construction is going to be Kenta's main priority, as well as mining. What else? Let's see. Hunting. I'll keep that there for now, but we'll see. For May, growing and plant cutting is going to be up there. You know what? Plant cutting doesn't need to be 2. Smithing, tailoring, arts and crafts can all stay at 3 for now. Hauling, I think I'm going to put it 2. And let's see. Research is going to be a 2 as well. And then when I decide who's going to be my main researcher, I'll bump them up to 1. And I should also set this. I like to go, whoops, 0 to 6 sleep, and then everything else is anything. And they can kind of just work and do whatever they need to do. I need you to... Oh no, did we use up all our wood already? Oh no, it's just all... You know, I shouldn't have made wood beds anyways, but since they're already there, I will just leave it. But I should have made steel beds. That's what I should have done. In fact, yeah, let's just cancel it. Deconstruct that. We'll try to get some wood back because we're going to need wood for other things. And instead, we'll be making steel beds. Let's cancel that one as well. Make some more steel beds. Kenta, get to that. There we go. And we'll have him prioritize those. Meanwhile, I think I'm going to issue the order to start mining out this area. Something like that right there. What's the temperature in here? 29 degrees Celsius and -3. So the heat is transferring a bit. This isn't getting too hot, but it may get too hot to the point where it starts to bleed over here even more. But we'll see. Also, I think I'm going to ask them to double up this wall, because we need to prevent the temperature from outside leaking through as best we can. Alright, so Kenta's moving in to build some beds. I think Heth is going to build some beds as well. May's just kind of hanging out for the time being. So we're obviously going to want to get her a research facility up and running as soon as possible so that we can start unlocking... I think we're going to want to go with hydroponics first so that we can start growing crops inside, because if we can't do that, we're going to starve. There's no animals for us to hunt or anything. Can you not mine? Let's see. You know, I don't care as long as you're doing something. So it'll take her a really long time, but at least she's, you know, sort of making some progress toward what we want to be doing. Let's get these beds assigned. So we'll go May, Heth, and that will be Kenta's as soon as he's done. And I guess we're going to build our base into this giant area here. We can pretty much go anywhere we want on this entire, like, third or so of the map. But everything's going to be built into this mountain, because I think it's just easier that way. We don't need to worry about walls. We just need to, you know, I should have left that double thick as well. That was a mistake. Things are not really warming up. Oh, these two are flirting with each other a bit. We're going to want that to get hauled eventually, but for now I'm not super concerned. What sort of ground are we looking at here? Snow? Oh, it's snowing outside. What is this? Let's see. Rough-hewn marble, okay. If we find gravel in here, we can actually use that as, like, farmland, so we'll need to sort of pay attention. Any gravel that we come across, we're going to want to save. I'm going to build this into another steel wall right there, and we'll continue to mine out the area around it, trying to keep these too thick. So I think I need to correct that one, possibly. Something like that. So go ahead and open it up. In fact, we can open this up as well. But I just need enough space to throw down a research bench. Let's see. There it is, simple research bench. So I could put it there, but then, you know, it's going to take up all that space. So as soon as they clear like this out, maybe I'll drop it right there. And then we'll have May just researching. Because I don't think Heth is gaining any... he's gaining a little bit. But I don't... Oh, he does like mining, doesn't he? A little bit. So his force powers will grow from that, just not as good as they would from researching. Also, I think we're going to want to set up a stone cutting bench pretty soon here and have Kenta working on that whenever he's not building or mining for us. Oh, this should be Kenta's bed, by the way. And here we go. So I think this area here will eventually be our storage, because again, we want to get everything inside so it doesn't deteriorate. And then we'll sort of build the rest of our facility inward, because it'll be easier to temperature regulate in here than it will be over here where we're, you know, right on the edge. And these two just continue to hit it off. Oh, you're flirting with her, she's just ignoring you. And they're really hungry. I completely forgot that I should allow them to eat some of these. So we'll open those up, and I should have them transfer them inside as soon as we can, because they are deteriorating. They're not, nothing's going to spoil. These are survival meals anyways, but if we leave food out here, it's not going to spoil because it is below freezing. However, it will deteriorate just from being outside. Alright, so we're having a bit of a minor break risk with May here. I think it's because she was really hungry, so I think eating will help there. Let's actually take a look at her needs. It's still too cold in here, so I might need to remove that door for now. We're also going to need somewhere for them to eat because they don't particularly like just eating standing up. Let's deconstruct that for the moment. You're going to go eat. What are you currently doing? Relaxing? Can you... Oh, you can't construct, so... Why can't you construct? Are you just really bad at it? You know what, honestly, I'll put you on like the minimum. We'll put you at 4. So, you know, if something desperately needs to get built, you can do it, but otherwise you're not going to put too much stock into that. So there we go. And that should start warming this up pretty quickly. I'm going to slow things down a bit here as well. And let's see, Kenta's going to continue to dig stuff up. May's cleaning, that's a good use of her time since she can't really do anything else. But actually, now that this is opened up, let's go ahead and get that research bench going. Bad temperature. Well, we're working on that. We're doing the best we can. I'm also going to queue up some electricity stuff, because we have the ability to make a solar generator right away, so we may as well. I'll build them probably right here along this wall. 1, 2, 3. Perfect. I'm only going to do 1 for now, because obviously we don't have a ton of power needs until later. Also, I'm going to need to tear down a lot of this rock and replace it with steel so I can run wire through it. But that is not immediately important. For now, let's just do something like that. And we'll run it over here. And you get the idea. Let's see, so you're gonna go, are you building that? I think she is. Kenta, what are you doing? You are gonna build the conduits. You know, build this first. Makes more sense to build the generator than the wire first, right? Heth is just hanging out. You should be working on stuff as well. I don't know why you're not. In fact, you would be better building stuff than she would. But yeah, I'll prioritize those so that they get done a little bit faster. I'm going to take things up to 2 times speed here just because we're moving a little bit slow at the moment. But yeah, we got to get power going and we got to get research going, because if we can't start making food inside this base, we are going to be in serious trouble. It looks like Heth's going to go back to mining. That's fine by me. And indoors, we're actually doing pretty well on temperature. It's sitting at about 11 or 12. It's warming, actually. So that's kind of good. We just got to make sure it doesn't get too hot. Alright, so apparently we've got caribou passing through. Let's jump to their location. The thing is, if we start firing on them, they might all attack us. And I'm a bit concerned about that. But it would be nice to be able to grab some food. Or, you know, get a little bit of meat from these guys that we can kind of just store. I mean, it's already freezing outside. I don't need to worry about refrigeration or anything. So if we can pick off a few of them, that'd be great. But I don't want to risk our guys getting killed or anything. So if it looks like it's going to go sour, I'm going to cancel all that. But for now, we'll just kind of wait and see. We've also got rabbits running around. So there is... you know what? I might just ignore it. We'll see if they decide to get around to it. If they don't, it's not the end of the world. But there are rabbits running around, so we're not completely deprived of animals out here. It's just we're not going to be seeing very many of them, so we can't rely on hunting to provide us any food, really. So let's see here. I need you to mine through... I don't know how I want to do this. Mine through right here, and then I'm gonna have power conduit get built like that. We'll build through there, and then I'm gonna have a battery set up there. Actually, I think I'll build 3 across, so we'll do something like that for now. Okay, so apparently Kenta's decided to go hunting. We're gonna see how he does. They don't seem to really care that we're shooting at one of them, so that's fine by me. These blasters have some pretty ridiculous range, too. Come on, take them down, take them down. Where'd you go? Did you just give up? I think he just gave up. Was this thing nearly dead? And no, just some basic blaster burns. Alright, so back over here. Oh, we need to take care of that quick. That opening is going to freeze us to death if we're not on top of it. May, what are you currently doing? Do this first. We need that gap sealed like now. Kenta, I need you to do the same. Otherwise it's going to get real cold in here. It already is, actually. Alright, good. That's sealed up. He's going to come around and build the double thick wall so that the temperature is a little bit more resilient in here. There's our batteries. Now we just need to get the conduits laid down, which shouldn't be too hard. They've already started these two. Come on, guys, let's hustle. There's one. Now we just got to connect them. And we'll have power. Luckily, the generator stores a little bit of power itself. Actually, no. Sorry, it doesn't. This is a reflection of the output, not the input. Alright, so we'll see if we start picking up power tomorrow. For now, it looks like the temperature is starting to sort of balance out back to what it was inside, so that's good. We're going to need to give them like a joy source or something, so let's see what options we have. How about a dartboard? Oh, that takes cloth. Book rack? Don't have any books. How about a chess table then? That's pretty simple. We'll throw it down in there with a couple of chairs. I think we'll just do like basic stools right here. You know what? I need to cancel all that because I built it as wood. So scratch all these. And we want them to be steel, because that's really all we've got. And the chess table will need to be steel as well. There we go. And that should give them something to do, just so they don't go crazy sitting here. Meanwhile, I should probably queue up some more mining, just so we're constantly growing our base here. And we can go pretty far this way now. Something like that. I don't need to like get every nook and cranny over there, but we'll do something fairly uniform like this. Just keep expanding our base. And one important thing as we build the base larger... Oh, you know what? I should do the research right now as well. So we wanted... not terraforming, hydroponics. That'll be our first one. And May... You're going to be our main researcher, since I think Heth is going to need to help mining, and he'll gain force points for that, so it's really not that big a deal that he's not mining or that he's not researching instead. Also, that reminds me, I should throw down at least a stool right here to speed things up a bit. Alright, so May's got to work on our hydroponics research. Meanwhile, Kenta's going to start mining, as well as Heth in just a second. I think we're going to end it here for today, though, because we are out of time. I think we made pretty good progress. We've got a nice little base started, and we have, you know, electricity up and running, so we can throw down an actual heater in here and keep things nice and toasty for us. We're going to really need to get that hydroponics research done quickly, though, because we are currently living off a very limited supply of food, and once this is gone, we have nothing. So we need to be able to get that food growing quickly, because if, you know, we don't get the crops down fast enough, we have to wait for the crops to grow, we could be well out of food by that point, and it would really suck to lose just because we didn't get the food fast enough. So anyways, we're going to leave it here. If you guys have a lot of experience with RimWorld, feel free to drop some tips in the comments, because as I said, I play in my own time, but I'm not that great. So I'm always interested in learning a little bit more. And this is a particularly difficult start situation. So if you have experience with, you know, ice sheet survival in RimWorld, I'd be happy to hear it. But I did read up a little bit on my own, so I have at least a vague idea of what I'm doing. Obviously, some first-hand experience from you guys would be useful as well, though. So anyways, thank you so much for watching. I had a great time playing some RimWorld with you, and I look forward to seeing you guys back here for the next episode.